Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about the capability of this action camera, the GIISKOM Fancy Art 2 action camera, to record underwater. We recently purchased this camera a month or two ago, and I did take a few moments a few weeks ago to record in the heavy rain, a little bit underwater, because one of the cool things about these cheap action cameras that don't cost hundreds of dollars is that they usually have underwater housing, so all we have to do is insert the camera in the underwater housing. And then hopefully, if you're willing to risk it, go outside when it's raining or underwater, put the camera underwater while it's in the underwater housing to see if the camera can actually record video well and not leak in the underwater housing while the camera is underwater. So that is exactly what I'm going to be showing you at the end of this video. We recorded 1080p, 60 frames per second in the heavy rain, a little bit sort of underwater kind of. So I was very interested to see if there would be any leaking in the underwater housing, which is right here. And fortunately, after having done this with the camera, after having tested the camera in the rain, I'm very happy to report that although the camera did freeze once while it was recording, that may or may not have been because I kind of dropped the camera a little bit a couple weeks ago, a couple of feet on the ground. Regardless of that, it did very, very well, and there was no leaking. Even though I really did submerge the camera a little bit, I really had it on the ground while it was raining in the water. The camera did very well. I'm very excited to share the results with you. This camera we're recording at 1080p 60 frames per second underwater video test. That's all it is. Not completely underwater, but in the rain, and it did very well. When I did take the camera out of the underwater housing after taking it out in the rain, I did see that it didn't leak, and I was very happy with the quality of the footage. So if you're interested in purchasing this camera and would just like to see what it looks like in the rain, that is the footage I have for you recorded with this camera, the GIISKOM Fancy Art 2 action camera. Available on Amazon with a coupon. The coupon can vary. I purchased it when it had a very large coupon, so for me, I bought it around $60, maybe a little bit more than $60 as a result of having that coupon. So very happy with this camera overall so far. Again, it did freeze once recording in the rain, but again, I did drop it a little bit a couple weeks ago, so maybe it was because of that. Underwater footage will be shown shortly, and we had the camera in the underwater housing because without the underwater housing, the camera is not waterproof. 1080p 60 frames per second is my favorite setting, and again, I personally did not report any leaking through the underwater housing. But again, it wasn't completely underwater. It was mostly just kind of in the rain. So in the summer, if we go to a pool, if we go to the ocean, we might test the camera a little bit more underwater. But so far, so good with this camera. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. And you're about to see what it looks like filming in the rain with this action camera, the GIISKOM Fancy Art 2. the camera has managed to withstand the rain with the underwater housing. See you back inside where it's a little bit more dry. You can see that is all that is water. See you inside. And we will report on the findings. Hopefully the camera is not wet and not damaged. Thanks for watching this video. Underwater video test in the rain. GIISKOM Fancy R2 action camera. but not really. I'm okay with this. Okay, let's go. Let's just keep walking. There we are. Video test in the rain. GIISKOM, however we pronounce it. Fancy R2 action camera in the underwater housing. Great battery life. Lots of settings. Touchscreen, which I don't really like, but you know what? It's okay. Video test in the rain, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Don't know how well you can hear me because we got the underwater housing, but hopefully reasonably well because this camera has a very good microphone. GIISKOM Fancy R2 action camera video test.